Allow me to introduce the following panel. This panel brings together key experts from emergency response and mental health to address the Israel's ongoing crisis. With us today, Ori Shacham, Chief of Staff to the Director General Magen David Adom, and Dr. Danny Broom, Founding Director Metiv, the Israel Psychotrauma Center, and Inbar Bahiri, Licensed Mental Health Counselor, Vice President and Board Member, U.S. Friends of Iran. Ori, it's a pleasure to have you here today. How did the events of October 7th change how you prepare in Magen David Adom for these events on this kind of scale?
The events of October 7th emphasized how important is preparedness.
Yeah.
Back then, Magen David Adom had a fleet of 1,700 ambulances, which allowed us to prepare for any additional escalation in the north while the atrocities happen in the south. We understood that we need a larger fleet of ambulances, and we extended it in about 20%.
Wow.
More than this, we understood that we have to ensure the people of Israel that their emergency calls are responded constantly. And this is why we fortified our dispatch centers, allowing our dispatchers to maintain the regular phone calls coming in, even under the threat of missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to October 7th, we used to use mutual aid. That means that ambulances from Netanya or from Jerusalem could assist ambulances in Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
Post-October 7th, we understood that we have to train our people working in what we call an isolated island. Besides having the equipment, they had to change their mind, knowing that they are on their own and they have to trust their training, their equipment, and work alone. This proved itself during the 12 days war. And one of the key projects that we initiated is the preparedness for communities. On October 7th, Magen David Adom teams responded in the kibbutzim, in בהירי, in Kisufim, in Nir Yitzchak, in Nir Oz. And we know that a prepared community is not only responding to itself, but this is also enhances its resilience. So
Definitely.
This is what we did in the recent year.
And during Operation Rising Lion, Magen David Adom teams worked under heavy missile fire. How did you prepare for that?
Well, we all know that the state of Israel hasn't dealt with the threat of ballistic missiles for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And the falling missiles have created huge scenes which took very long time to survey. That made us send many ambulances to the scene, spending a lot of time in surveying it, while knowing that each and every second that we spend on the ground, another missile might come in. The fact that we prepared our teams made us able to respond with large quantities, which everyone knows their role and their responsibility, actively surveying the scene and providing the information back to our dispatch center. We prepared for several mass casualty incidents at the same time.
Wow.
And if you recall the June 15th, where missiles landed both in the city of Rehovot and both in the city of Bat Yam, Magen David Adom sent more than 400 ambulances at the same time, ambulances and motorcycles, at the same time for both of the scenes. Preparedness proved itself.
Exactly. You had time to prepare for it, and you prepared your teams.
Exactly. And this showed, and at the end of the day, it saved life, because you could see Magen David Adom responding fast, responding efficiently, while all the people of Israel had to wait in the shelters. It was Magen David Adom teams that ran out of the shelters, risking their lives. But you know what? That's our role.
Yeah.
We are protecting life in Israel, and this is what we do because this is our mission.
Absolutely sacred. And how do you see Magen David Adom moving forward after everything it's been through?
Well, I see Magen David Adom moving forward in two parallel routes. The first one is keep preparing. You know, June 24th may be the last day of the war with Iran. It was the first day for Magen David Adom preparedness for another war. We have to make sure that Magen David Adom teams are prepared, that communities in Israel are trained, that we have the equipment and the knowledge to respond. And we are doing this right now. We also are dealing with, I would say, a national mission of responding to mental health. Mm-hmm. Mental health has become a huge issue in Israel post-October 7th. And beginning on August, Magen David Adom, together with the Minister of Health, is initiating a special dispatch in which people might call and saying, listen, I have this and this medical situation, but when at the end of the day, they have mental issue. Yeah. So professionalists will support them. Magen David Adom paramedic has been trained in order to assist those people. We are actually connecting the mental issues with the other health issues to create one-stop shop for any medical issue that you have. And last but definitely not least, I think that Magen David Adom is Israel. If you'll go inside Magen David Adom station, you'll see all the Israeli society sitting together, and which the only disagreement is what are we grabbing for dinner. This is the only disagreement, because everybody are concentrated in the sacred mission of helping others, of doing good for somebody else. And we see many people who want to volunteer for Magen David Adom. So I see Magen David Adom as serving as a place for people to express their humanity, to join together and do things in the sake of others. I think this is key in the coming years for the State of Israel.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ori.
Thank you very much for having me.
Danny, it's a pleasure to have you here today. Can you tell us about the Release Journey program and how does it support released reservists from the Army?
So, thank you, first of all, for having me. We have this program called Peace of Mind, in Hebrew, Masa Shechur, for quite a long time. We're all-timers in the field, and, you know, you call this whole program the state in trauma, but I would call it the state in survival. And survival is something that we know how to do. That is something that is in our bodies, and we survive.
We're used to it. We've been doing it for 2 years now.
We're doing it for many, many decades.
Yeah.
And the Holocaust is in the background, and a lot of things are in the background.
Yeah.
And survival mode is something that we have in our bodies.
Yeah.
So the question is not so much trauma and treatment, but the question is, how do you get out of survival mode after you've been fighting, and the army has been fighting a very hard war, and then you have come home and you have to readapt.
Yeah.
So survival is an adaptation to danger.
Yeah.
And then you come home and you still feel that everything is dangerous.
Yeah.
So we created this program in 2007, after the 2006 war, to help reservists make the transition to civilian life after being in the army. And that has done a lot of good. It is not a treatment for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It is allowing people to get out of survival mode.
Yeah.
And we are doing that also by bringing groups of reservists, but after out of the army, to Jewish communities wherever in the diaspora. And that has a double effect of, on the one hand, allowing some respite, but a very intensive program to understand what did this do to me. And on the other hand, the communities who are now experiencing anti-Semitism and are really afraid, suddenly they have these guys in their homes. And it strengthens the sense of community, the sense of Israel and diaspora being together.
Yeah. So not everyone goes and gets help. How would a reservist know that, what are the symptoms that will make him understand he needs to go and reach out and get some help?
So first of all, most people don't need therapy. Most people need their environment, they need their community, they need their family to hold them and understand that this is a difficult transition. Of course, it's double difficult because also the wives are in survival mode with the children, being afraid of what's happening with the husband or the other way around. So, first of all, we need to allow people to make that transition. Now, if that transition doesn't go well and you keep on re-experiencing the things you have seen, the things you have done, then it becomes difficult. If it gets worse and you can't calm yourself down, you can't relax, you can't sleep, then it becomes difficult. Now, at this moment, we're in a very difficult point in time because, you know, after October 7th, everyone was very motivated.
Yeah.
At this moment, what we hear is, what are we doing? Do we still have the meaning of this war? And we know that from the Vietnam War, at some point when there is no clear goal to the fighting, people break down.
Yeah.
That's a very critical point at this moment that I think also government needs to look at.
Yeah.
Because then coming back and you ask yourself, why is all of this happening?
Yeah.
And we need to help people with making meaning
Definitely.
of everything that is happening.
Definitely. And as a parent, what are the key signs? Our kids have been through very tough 2 years. What are the signs to see if our kids need help? What can you tell us about that?
Well, first I would say parents need to understand that what the kids need is just the mother you are and the father you are, and not anything special, but a hug if they want that, their favorite food if they want that, but also time to think, what is this? Now, when they totally isolate themselves, then we know there's something wrong. When they don't want to talk about anything and don't go with their friends, because the groups of soldiers are very strong together.
Yeah.
But when they also disconnect from that, that is worrisome. Avoiding all of these things. And when you see that they are so stressed out all the time and they can't calm themselves down, that's another sign of, you know, maybe you should think about professional help.
Thank you so much. You spilled a lot of light on a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Inbar, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What are the main areas Iran supports people in Israel during times of emergency?
So during time of emergency, I think that the main thing that we do is that we are able to move from a normal mode of operation to a emergency mode in matter of minutes. So let's say we as managers get from the news or an alert that something is going on, we immediately send a message to our volunteers saying something might happen and we might have an increase of calls coming in. Stay tuned. And we monitor the calls coming in. Once we see that there is an increase in call, we add more volunteers to adapt to answer any calls that come. So, and this can happen really in a very, very short time. Another important thing is that our volunteers are trained to identify risk factors in a call and activate any emergency protocol as needed. And the fact that they are able to do it, they might reduce the need of using any other agencies in this event. So so if someone calls and is under any kind of an emotional dysregulation, by calling us, by having this empathic listener on the other side, that can also help to bring this person back to functioning, because this might be a mother who take care of her children and she needs to go back to functioning. Or instead of, example, calling Mada, so by calling us, we can reduce the need of any other organization being part of the crisis. I think that this is the main two things that we are contributing around time of crisis in Israel. We are able to be very quick and rapid in our in the way we react, and we can reduce the involvement of other organizations.
And in addition to the amazing work you do in Israel, how do you support Jews communities around the world in times of crisis?
So Iran was part of the founder and initiator of the Israeli Trauma Coalition. And this organization is activating in Israel and abroad, and their main goal is to create Israelis and Jewish in the diaspora that are more resilient to whatever happens to them. So when any Jewish community around the world there is any terrorist attack or anti-Semitism or anything that happens, we can send a team of professionals to give them mental support. The mental support is mainly to create a better resilience of the people involved in the event, and also the family and the community around it. Also some tools to take care of themselves, so that this is not just a one thing, but this is something that that is sustainable and they can do by themselves. And that's basically what we do with the coalition.
That is remarkable.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. It was an honor and pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.